Okay, so if you are currently searching for full-time or contract or freelancer roles in 2025 and you are not getting any responses on LinkedIn, you're applying to roles, you're not getting any feedback, you are reaching out to recruiters, you're not getting any responses, this video is for you. I'm actually going to share with you the exact strategy that I use so that recruiters are literally in my DMs, if you will, on a daily basis, and how I've secured the last probably 4 to 5 years of six-figure roles and contracts strictly off of LinkedIn DMs. Side note, do not mind that pile of laundry behind me because now I see it in the chute. And we are going to keep going because I'm trying to get you into the career of your dreams so that you can fund the lifestyle you deserve. So don't pay attention to that. We're here. All right, so if you're interested in that, get a pen and paper and I'm going to tell you exactly what should be on every section of your LinkedIn profile. Okay, so what's the purpose of your LinkedIn? Because obviously, applying to roles and reaching out to people randomly is not working. So the purpose of your LinkedIn profile, I always tell my career coaching clients, is to share what you've done, to share what you know, to connect with who you can, and then know that it's time to go. This is not the time to be randomly scrolling on LinkedIn, seeing everyone post their new job announcements, and also seeing people complain about the job market. If you're in the job search, if you're in that season of your life, then I know it's a very stressful season. It's a very sensitive season because you're dealing with a lot of rejection. And so you need to be very mindful of how you engage with that platform during this time. So share what you've done and share what you know. What do I mean by that? So I always say that your LinkedIn profile should really be like an online resume. It should be like a searchable career portfolio where, again, the goal is for people to find your profile and to see how you're an expert in that field. It's not for you to always be constantly engaging with anything and everyone in every single post, but it's really for people to find you and see like, wow, look at all that she's done for this specific company. Look at the problems that she solved. Look at the projects that she's worked on. Look at her LinkedIn recommendations and people who back her up. That is the goal of your LinkedIn profile. So when it comes to like sharing what you know, you don't have to be posting on LinkedIn every single day. Of course, you can engage where you have something to say, if that makes sense, but just kind of like inauthentically, if that's a word, reaching out to people and just posting just to post, that's not really the best use of your time because everyone is just scrolling and no one's really paying attention to what you have to say anyway. But I do think that on your LinkedIn profile, that it would be good to have like 3 to 5 case studies, small blogs, small posts, again, for people to see that you are an expert in this space. For example, I will like repost some of the career videos that I have on YouTube on my LinkedIn just so that it can be there. I'll like have like thank you notes that employers and clients have sent me or testimonials, again, so that when someone does find me, they can see that I have credibility and I have social proof, if that makes sense. So that's what I mean by like sharing what you've done and showing what you know. Then when it comes to connecting with who you can, I always tell people to connect with people who could potentially be your peers and then connect with people who could potentially hire you. So if you're trying to get into project management, for example, connect with other project managers who are in the industry that you're trying to segue into. Then also connect with the people who could potentially hire you. So whether that's recruiters or staffing agencies, directors of project management, maybe, they're CEOs of a company that, may need freelance project managers in the future. You want to make sure that you're connecting with people so that when they eventually do post their job openings in their network, they're going to post it to their LinkedIn network before they post it on job boards. And so that way you can be in position to be in the know about upcoming jobs within your space. And then again, when I say it's time to go, make sure that you are not spending your time aimlessly scrolling and getting discouraged. Again, the goal is to optimize your profile to be searchable, to show your credibility and your social proof, and to show your accomplishments, and then get out. So let's talk about what should be in each section of your profile. So let's start with premium account versus not. I always recommend, if you are currently in the job search market, that's your season right now, you should have a premium account. I have found personally that when I don't have a premium account, not as many recruiters reach out to me. So if you are actively looking, I do recommend having a premium account for that span of time. And then when it comes to your headline, that's really the most important part. So you want to make sure that the exact type of roles that you're applying for, that exact job title is in your job description. So when someone searches for a healthcare IT project manager, I want them to be able to see me within the 10 to 20 profiles that come up. Whether somebody's looking for a freelance project manager, I want someone to see within my headline that I'm a freelance project manager. So I'll leave an example of, things that I use for my headline. You could also include your years of experience, the type of industries you work in. And then I always tell people, if you are open to contract or freelance work, to put open to contract freelance work in your headline, because a lot of times there's an assumption that people are only interested in full-time roles. So if you are open to short-term contracts or freelance contracts, which I think in this job market we should all be open to, you also want to make sure that that's in your headline as well. So again, I'll leave a few examples here that you can screenshot and use for your own industry. When it comes to the about section, this should be like a professional summary of what's in your resume. So your resume and your LinkedIn should go hand in hand. And so this is a part of a career glow up series. I don't know if I mentioned that in the beginning, but yeah, this is part 3. So make sure you go back and watch part 2 where I talk about how to optimize your resume. But essentially what's in your resume should be what's on your LinkedIn. So your about section is pretty much your professional summary on the resume. So you want to start with like a one-liner describing the value that you bring. I'll give an example of what I have, but I think what I have is like driving digital transformation and project excellence across healthcare organizations and growing businesses. One-liner, what I do and who I do it for. So that's always a good rule of thumb, because when you're searching people's profiles or looking at people's profiles, it's like that one liner on the about section before you have to click learn, see more, something like that to see the entire thing. So it's always good to have kind of that one sentence, like punch line, if you will, of what you do and who you help. Then you want to have like, a few bullet points, 3 to 5 bullet points that showcase who you are and what you've done. So an example would be like, project manager with 11 years of experience, specializing in software implementations, AI projects, cybersecurity projects, etc. I'll give an example of what's on mine, but that's where you want to have those 3 to 5 quantified, a quantified summary of your work experience within 3 to 5 bullet points. Then you also want to make sure that you are clear in who you help and how you help them. So an example of what I do is I'll put like industries that I can work with and how I help those industries. So I'll give an example of that. But essentially in the about section, you want to have a one-liner of the value you bring to companies. You want to be able to share like what you've done in a quantifiable way within 3 to 5 bullet points. And then you want to be able to show like who you can help and how you can help them. Then after the about section, in that featured section where you can leave like external links, like typically what I have done in the past is I used to have like a landing page where I would like further talk about the types of projects that I've managed more in detail, almost again as like a case study, if you will. So that's an option for you. If you have like, maybe a landing page that has all the kudos, the thank yous, whatever you maybe received from previous employers, you could also list that there. Again, you can also list articles and blogs, whatever is going to help you build that social proof. And so those are some ideas that you could use for your featured section. And then when it comes to the work experience, similar to your resume, you want to make sure that you are putting in quantifiable accomplishments, again, that your work has brought to those specific companies versus just listing out the day-to-day responsibilities. And again, the good part about LinkedIn is that you have more space to talk about all the things that you've done rather than it just being on your resume. So specifically for your LinkedIn, you want to make sure that you are highlighting specifically the type of work that you've done, the types of initiatives, the projects, the specific problems that you saw within your company, and then again, what was the result? So, what was the cost savings? What was the revenue? How many people were impacted? What was the benefit? Things like that. So that's what you want to include in your work experience. And then when it comes to the education, you want to make sure obviously that you have your degrees there, any certifications, coursework that you've done that's relevant to the types of roles you're applying for. You want to make sure that's also there. And then lastly, LinkedIn recommendations. I think a lot of people stray away from this because they don't want to reach out to people, especially if y'all haven't talked like in forever. But here's a very easy way where you can make LinkedIn recommendations mutually beneficial. So I'll leave an example of a template that I use, but essentially, you can just reach out and say, hey, Susan, I am currently on the market for project manager roles, or I'm currently, building my clientele as a freelance project manager, just as an example. And, I would love for you to leave a recommendation highlighting this specific project that you and I collaborated on. Here's an exact template that you can use and copy and paste, and I would really love, if you could leave this recommendation for me. I would love to leave one for you as well as you continue on your career journey. Again, I'll leave a template here, but make it mutually beneficial. Like tell them exactly what you need them to say and exactly what you want them to highlight, because again, you want it to be optimized to the roles that you are applying for. And so do that and then offer to leave them one as well. And that can like make it less cringy. But listen, get out of your comfort zone a little bit, okay? But yeah, that's a way that you could do it in a way that's less painful, if that makes sense. And then how do you actually reach out to people? So let's say, okay, you've done the work of optimizing your profile. You've connected with people that could potentially hire for positions that you're looking for, in the near future. And you see like a recruiter post a role, or you see, a founder of a company post an opportunity that you would qualify for. How do you reach out to them? So I'll leave a template here, and I'll probably link it below too so that y'all can see it. But essentially, it's very important when reaching out to get to the point. Meaning, like, I think sometimes we insert a lot of fluff, or like we feel like we have to add in these filler words to like make it not come off as transactional. But people who are in those types of roles, even people who reach out to me, like they're looking for a job, and it's like, get to the point, tell me what you need. And so I'll leave a template here, but essentially it could be like, hi, Melanie, I hope you're doing well. I just saw, you post the opportunity of an opening project manager role with XYZ company. I would love to be considered I would love to be considered for the role, and here's why. And you can go into like a specific paragraph that says, I'm a senior project manager with IT experience in these specific areas. Recently I was able to help my company generate $4 million in revenue by executing XYZ. I saw with your company that, you're looking for this specific experience, and I would love to hop on a call to further talk about how I can meet the requirements and exceed and excel in that role, as an example. So I'll leave again a template here, but essentially tell them, I hope you're doing well. Say, I saw your opportunity. Tell them how you qualify for that opportunity, and then offer to hop on a call to explain further. Is essentially the template that you should follow. So yeah, that's pretty much how you should engage on LinkedIn. Let me know what additional questions you have. I wanted to just kind of make sure that we all had the basics, but if you want me to go more in depth on any specific area, let me know. Of course, if you are, short on time and you're like, Mel, I hear everything you're saying, I just don't want to do this, can you do it for me? As y'all know, I do offer one-on-one coaching and resume, LinkedIn writing as well. So if you are interested in that, I'll leave the comments below. But yeah, let me know how you are using LinkedIn in 2025, and I hope to see y'all in the next video. Bye, y'all.